fed? Absolutely. That was the first priority between games. Check that box, didn't we?
You.
Me more than you.
Me,
yeah.
Not me. I did popcorn and coffee to get ready for game number 2.
Well, and then they showed up with the pizza. And,
yeah.
But as Teoscar Hernandez takes some time out between games to sign a Dominican flag for some fans here in Baltimore. And that leads us into the lineup for the Blue Jays for the second game. George Springer will be the DH in this one. Matt Chapman is back at third. Kevin Biggio starts both ends of the doubleheader at second base. Tapia, Jansen, and Bradley into the starting lineup. Kirk, Gurriel, Espinal out of the starting lineup. And again, we talked about it in the first game. It was supposed to be Jordan Lyles, woke up not feeling well. They moved him to game 2 to give him a few extra hours, maybe unable to go. Keegan Aiken, a left-handed reliever, is on the mound.
Blue Jays got their first curveball of the night right here. I watched Jordan Lyles come out about 15-20 minutes before first pitch. He went to warm up. That didn't work out so well, so Keegan Aiken will make his first start of the season. He has been pitching out of the bullpen this season. All 37 games have been out of the pen. This is his first start, so it looks like it's going to be a bullpen night for the Orioles.
And away we go. Before you know it, game 2 is underway here in Baltimore. George Springer is going to lead it off. Springer with one of the 3 big RBI singles in the 9th inning and went 3 for 5 in game 1. So again, this likely happened, the change to Aiken, as you said, maybe 10-15 minutes before the game. The Blue Jays had already set their lineup. Now it is what it is. I don't think there was, I don't think this is any the Orioles trying to put one over on the Blue Jays, and I think John Schneider would have stayed with the same lineup no matter who was in there, no matter who was pitching for the Orioles.
Well, he might have had one more righty, maybe a Whit Merrifield plays in there. They've got 3 lefties in their lineup in game number 2.
Fly ball back to the warning track, and it's caught by Santander as Springer is retired. The umpire here in the second game is the one and only Canadian umpire in the major league, Stu Sherwater, who hails from Regina, Saskatchewan, and I'm sure on his mind and heavy in his heart is the horrific tragedy that took place in Saskatchewan last night, and our thoughts and prayers go out to the families of all of those who were killed yesterday. And again, I'm sure Sherwater spent a lot of time thinking this over. Just a senseless, horrific act of violence last night. So our thoughts to all of the families. One down, and here is Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Vladdy went 2 for 4 with an intentional walk. Also had an RBI single in that 9th inning of game 1.
Picked on a changeup and drilled it back through the middle for an RBI. That was a great approach we saw from Vladdy in that last at bat. That's what you're going to get a lot of from Keegan Aiken. Fastball, slider, changeup. He likes to use his changeup. His fastball is pretty straight. He's not going to light up the radar gun, that's for sure. Blue Jays have seen him in the past when he was a starter.
And he's a multi-inning guy, right? So if he's going well, he could go 2-3 innings.
That's right. That's why I think it's going to be a bullpen day here in game number 2, which could be an advantage, I think, for the Blue Jays.
Swing and a miss at a fastball, 2-2. So the Blue Jays now 3.5 ahead of the Orioles after the win in the first game of the series, and that means no matter what happens the rest of the series, as Guerrero strikes out, the Blue Jays will leave town ahead of the Orioles and in a playoff spot, but they'd like to put them a little further behind with another win here in this one.
Yeah, you win game number 1, you want to win game number 2. That is for sure. Defensively for the Orioles, this is how they will stack up. They gave the Blue Jays a couple of runs early with some miscues, but no errors charged. Stowers, Mullins, and Santander. Henderson, Odor up the middle. And out in center field, Cedric Mullins, one of the better center fielders in all of baseball. Cedric Mullins has not committed an error this season. He also has 8 outfield assists, but the Blue Jays ran on him a couple times in game number 1.
2 down. Here's Bo Bichette, and he stayed hot in the first game. Went 3 for 5, 3 singles, drove in a couple of runs. He is now 21 for his last 55 going back over a 14-game period. Fouled off.
We've been waiting for Bo to get in one of these hot streaks all year. And he would have 2 or 3 really good games, and then, you know, he would go back into, you know, a couple of offers, and you would ask him, he said, I'm there. I'm not where I think I can be. I think right now he's where he wants to be.
Aiken sets down the Blue Jays in order in the top of the first. The usual 3-4 in Santander and Mountcastle. Santander hit a couple of homers in the first game. Gunnar Henderson moves to shortstop and moves up to the 5 spot in the lineup. And Rougned Odor is in the lineup as the Blue Jays send Jose Barrios to the mound.
For start number 27 on the season for Jose, and he has been getting himself into a nice little groove, pitching deep into the ball game. Last time out against Chicago, he pitched into the 6th inning, sprayed a lot of hits around that time, but he only gave up 4 runs. Got to look at the numbers that he has had against Baltimore in his career. This is the 10th game that he has started against them. He's 6-0 against Baltimore, including one earlier this season where he threw 7 innings, gave up just 3 earned runs to the Orioles. They have not had a lot of luck against Jose in his career.
Cedric Mullins to lead it off. And the fastball from Barrios misses outside for ball 1. By the way, just took a quick peek at the weather forecast, which like hour by hour keeps getting more and more okay. Back to the mound, and a nice play by Barrios. Vladdy is there, 1 down.
He's such a good fielder. Let's take a look at the rest of the Blue Jays that John Schneider will play in game number 2. Raimel Tapia with the start in left field. Jackie Bradley Jr. in center. Teoscar in right field. Chapman back in there after DH in the first game. Bichette Biggio back up the middle. Keystone, just like in game number 1 with Guerrero and Jansen now catching, and Jackie out in the outfield. He played in game number 1, played in right field. He's one of the better center fielders, and with this big outfield, Jackie's going to be very important, I think, with Barrios being a fly ball type of pitcher.
And with Rutschman being a fly ball type of hitter for outfielders for the Blue Jays as Kevin Biggio's moved down to right. Rutschman 2 for 4 in game 1, a couple of singles. And he lines one right back up the middle for a base hit.
Good looking player. Good looking player. Jose Barrios almost came up with that ball. And not a lot of infielders to get this one. Line drive right back through the middle, just over the glove of Jose and into center field for the first hit. He is such a good fielder on the mound is Barrios, and he almost came up with that line drive.
So 1 on, 1 out for Anthony Santander, who hit a couple of home runs in game 1. One from the left side off Kevin Gausman, one from the right side off Tim Meza. Now 27 home runs on the season. Blue Jays now 4-6 on the season against Baltimore. How about this, Tabby? The Blue Jays are 10-1 in their last 11 road games. Goes back to the New York-Boston trip and the sweep in Pittsburgh. You know, it doesn't feel like it because that Angels series really didn't go well. But the Blue Jays are 13-5 in their last 18 games.
Doesn't seem like it.
It doesn't
right?
feel like it because of the Angels series. Yeah.
But they put them on the road. Blue Jays are now 16-6 on the road since the All-Star break. That's the best record in baseball. They've swept their last 2 road series. That was at Boston, at Pittsburgh. First time they have swept consecutive road series since 2014. Play well on the road. I'll take my chances at home. It all starts right here on the mound. They've been getting very good starting pitching.
Kevin Gausman with a very nice outing in the first game. Tim Meza, Adam Simber, and Zach Pop finished up. As Santander skies one on the infield, Barrios gives way to Guerrero, and Vladdy makes the catch behind the mound. Barrios a very good fielder. I think Matt Chapman was saying to Vladdy, all right, I'll let you get that one. Really, I should have taken that ball. Like, I'm Matt Chapman, but letting Vladdy have it.
Let the sure man have it. That's what he's telling him right there. I saw it all the way.
You know what? no joke. Look up at the sky. There could be some trickiness right now. It's kind of a dullish gray white up there right now, but it beats rain. Here's Mountcastle. In the first game today, Mountcastle 1 for 4, had an RBI double.
Maybe the biggest at bat in game number 1 2 against Adam Simber. What do you think?
I think so, because he didn't. That's the at bat where he pulled one down the line, almost hit a home run, and then Simber struck him out on a ball that, depending on your point of view, was a ball or a strike. It looked like a ball, but it was called a strike.
No, it looked like a strike. It looked like a strike to me, but it was a 1-run game at the time.
Yes.
Also, and this guy just hammers Blue Jay pitching. It looked like he had put them ahead with that long ball down the left field line. But Simber came back, struck him out. Blue Jays one going away.
To right field, but it'll stay in the yard. Teoscar Hernandez is there on the track. And through an inning here in game 2, no score. Jays Sunday coming your way before the end of the season. It's September the 18th when the Orioles are in town. There will be artists, games, prizes, lots of fun around the ballpark. And don't forget, if you're 14 and under, you can run the bases after the ball game as well. Visit BlueJays.com/tickets to get yours now. No score, top 2 here in game 2, as Matt Chapman leads it off for the Blue Jays. Chapman was in the 6th spot in game 1, but no Alejandro Kirk here in game 2, so Matt moves up to the cleanup spot and hit 2 balls right on the screws in game 1. Got a double and a flyout for his trouble, when in most places it would have been, say, a home run and a double, or if it was here last year, it would have been 2 home runs. But as you said, they're playing here and now, so that's all that matters as Aiken strikes him out.
Well, he just said, I'm going to use my fastball, and I'm going to throw one up, and the next one a little bit higher, and then the next one a little bit higher still. That's 3 straight strikeouts from Keegan Aiken, who's really not known as a strikeout type of pitcher. Then he last worked just 2 days ago through 2 innings, ended up getting the win against Oakland.
Here's Teoscar Hernandez. 1 for 5, or 1 for 4 rather, excuse me, in the first game, but the one was a big one, a home run in the 8th inning.
This was a big one, breaking ball. Remember, this was against Brian Baker, who was throwing 100 miles an hour, and he threw him a slider and hung it over the middle of the plate. Teoscar gave the Blue Jays a little bit more breathing room with that hit.
So again, if you're just joining us, the pitcher who was supposed to start the game for the Orioles, Jordan Lyles, right-handed starter, went out and started to warm up, and we knew earlier today that he wasn't feeling well, as Teoscar sends this one down the right field line, and that's going to get in there for extra bases. Santander plays it deep in the corner. Teoscar in there ahead of the throw with a 1-out double. Is he okay? A little awkward out there at second.
Yeah, an aggressive slide into the bag, and he's going to have to walk that one off. That thing ricocheted right back to Santander. This ball slicing away from him. If it goes the other way, I was thinking maybe 3. Oh, he's feeling it right there as he came around first base.
He's faster than that. There's something. I'm with you. I think there was something going on.
Yeah.
To first and around first.
Yes, you can see him grimace just a little bit, and he's saying, I'm okay.
Yeah. Here's Cavan Biggio. Remember, Teoscar's had the foot thing going on. Don't know if he's still feeling that. Biggio starting both ends of the doubleheader at second base. Went 1 for 3 with an RBI single in game 1. But you make a good point. If the Blue Jays had known Lyles was not going to start and Keegan Aiken would start, even though Aiken's only going to be in there 2 or 3 innings, would, for example, Merrifield be in there instead of Biggio at second? Or might Merrifield be in the outfield for Tapia? Or maybe Gurriel's in the outfield again? So we don't have the answers to those questions.
Yeah, and it was really interesting before the ball game. I think Gil Kim went out with the lineup card, and then John Schneider came out after him to talk about. There was a long discussion with Brandon Hyde and the umpires.
And it ended with Schneider fist bumping with Hyde, like extending his arm and fist bumping. It didn't look like there was any controversy or anything between them. It looked like everything was fine, but you're right, it happened so late, and the Blue Jays had already set their lineup. The 2-2 and strike 3 call, 2 down.
Four outs in a row recorded via the strikeout from Keegan Aiken. That's a little wrinkle slider that Cabin just can't catch up to. This is where it's interesting if you're talking about switching pitchers, back-to-back lefties in the lineup versus the right-hander. Good thing.
Well, I'm sure one of the first questions, win, lose, or draw at the end of the night for John Schneider will be, when did you find out? What did they tell you? And all that. But you got to put it behind you now. You got to put it out of your mind once the game starts, right? And try to go win a ball game.
And just concentrate on winning the game and do it in spite of that if you feel any remorse. Tapia has hit .227 against left-handed pitchers, .264 against righties.
And has not been hitting much at all recently in his last 22 games, just 9 for 63, a 143 average. And right now, with the depth of the roster, there's a lot of competition for playing time. You know, Merrifield has to hit his way into the lineup. Tapia's got to hit his way into the lineup, that sort of thing. There are enough bodies and enough versatility that, you know, John Schneider can probably pick 9 that he's pretty happy with every day.
And look for the matchups that work in his favor. Got to figure that Whit Merrifield would have been in there against the left-hander.
Somewhere.
Somewhere.
Yeah, I think you're right. If they had known in advance. Inside out swing and a ground ball to third, and out at first is Tapia. So the Teoscar Hernandez double is left aboard. And it's on to the bottom of the second at Camden Yards. No score in this one.
The balk call by second baseman Jeff Nelson. But more than that, again in his words, Gausman felt this was premeditated by the second base umpire the moment the Orioles had a base runner. Gausman told me, I just felt like Jeff, for whatever reason, wanted to make that call and went into the game knowing he was going to make that call. Now, Gausman has received warnings before with his movement. He said he usually gets those warnings when the umpires check him at the end of an inning. He said that didn't happen today. And Gausman said, before I even threw the pitch, I heard him calling balk, so that made me pretty mad. Now, Kevin was appreciative of Bo Bichette saving him, but he said he's got a whole other level of nasty, which he pulled out when striking out the next 3 batters. And Gausman's contention, Dan, which video and some still photos show, is that he didn't change his pitching motion all game, yet only that one balk call.
It does lend credence to the theory that Jeff Nelson went into the game kind of looking for it. It was the first time Gausman had been in the stretch, first time there had been a runner on the very first pitch that the balk was called. If you're looking for a good side-by-side kind of interesting thing, as Gunnar Henderson leads off the bottom of the second with a base hit to left center, big turn, but he'll put the brakes on. Go to Arden Zwelling's Twitter account, and he's got a side-by-side look at the pitch on which the balk was called and then the very next pitch. And I'll let you draw your own conclusions as you look at it, but it does support the theory from Gausman that it looked like Nelson had just decided to call the balk.
Well, thank goodness Rutschman didn't hit a triple. He would call a balk. It would have cost him a run. Luckily, he was over at first base, and he did not score.
Gausman pitched very well. 6 2/3, 2 runs, 7 hits, no walks, 6 strikeouts. The Blue Jays needed Meza, Simber, and Pop to finish it. Here's a ground ball, weakly hit to third. Charging Chapman, throw to second. They'll get the lead runner. They'll turn the double play. Wow, what a double play turned by the Blue Jays.
Let me ask you, did you think they would be able to turn a double play on that ball when it left the bat? I was hoping Chapman would just at least get the runner over at first base. But the key to this, Chappie attacks it, and that great arm fires it across the diamond. And then Biggio at second base, watch where he catches the ball. Closer to him, cut down that distance from the throw from Chapman, and fires over to first base. What a nifty double play.
Outstanding on all ends there. That's one of those where 10 years ago Biggio gets blown up at second base, but he could stand in there and almost play it like a first baseman, foot on the bag, take the throw, know he's not going to get hit or hit too hard, and he didn't flinch at all when the runner came in and just made a quick turn and a good accurate throw.
5 years ago, right?
5 years ago.
Right, it was. Yeah. It's just been a couple of seasons, but that's a great point.
Now Rougned Odor drills one to deep right field and gives the Orioles a 1-0 lead.
You know, if there's been one chink in the armor, if you will, chip in the armor for Jose Barrios, it's been the long ball. He's made some mistakes with his fastball out over the plate, and Odor takes that one deep. That's the 28th home run that he's given up this season. Odor hit a big home run against the Blue Jays earlier this season. It turned out to be a game winner. That one gets their first run.
Here's Kyle Stowers, the left fielder. Rookie outfielder who got a pinch hit at bat in game 1. So the Orioles open up game 1 with a solo homer in the bottom of the first. They open up the scoring in game 2 with a solo home run in the bottom of the second. To center, and that'll get down in front of Bradley for a base hit.
Jose missed on his fastball, and it's up. I think if he keeps that ball down, the fastball down, he keeps it in the ballpark. But the batters, they're not reaching for the ball. They're just spinning on that baseball. Odor, he's hit plenty of these in his career. He was a 30 home run hitting second baseman when he was with Texas. Opens up the scoring with that blast.
So 3 hard hit balls in the inning off Jose Barrios. 1-0 Orioles, bottom 2, 2 down. And the batter was the catcher, Robinson Chirinos, hitting in the 9 spot.
That's a strike.
Yeah. Chirinos just 181 on the season, the backup to Adley Rutschman. To center field, right at Bradley, and that'll be the inning. The Odor home run gives Baltimore a 1-0 lead at the end of 2.
See for yourself why Bet365 is the world's favorite sports book.
Wall-to-wall baseball here in September. Another team of keen interest to the Blue Jays, the Seattle Mariners, who will be hosting the Chicago White Sox tomorrow night, and you can see it at 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific on Sportsnet 1 and Sportsnet Now. The Mariners a game and a half ahead of the Blue Jays. They own the first wild card spot right now, and we mentioned this briefly in the first game. Tabby, they are 46-19 in their last 65 games.
Getting unbelievable pitching.
Yeah.
Luis Castillo, what a nice addition he was.
Yeah, I'll give you 3 reasons you don't want to play the Mariners in the first round of the playoffs. Luis Castillo, Robbie Ray, Logan Gilbert.
That's enough for me.
Yeah.
Marco Gonzalez has
Yeah.
given the Blue Jays some problems too in the
Yeah.
past.
Danny Jansen leads off the third. Alejandro Kirk caught the first game. Jansen in there here in game 2. Jackie Bradley Jr. on deck, and then George Springer. And Keegan Aiken, a reliever, but a multi-inning reliever. Starting this game for the Orioles. Doesn't look like anybody is up in the pen as he has thrown 32 pitches through 2 innings plus this at bat so far. Three and 2.
It's challenging the Blue Jays. They just haven't been able to pick up the spin on that fastball. It's been pretty straight. Again, for Aiken, once again, this is his first start of the season.
Jansen lifts one to shallow left center. And Stowers is there for the first out.
The longest that he has gone is just 3 1/3 innings. He's gone 3 innings 3 different times this season. He's pitched out of the pen, and he's always around 30, 35 pitches. That has been about his limit this season.
Well, looks like Brandon Hyde will leave him out there as long as he can if things are going well. Here's Jackie Bradley Jr. getting the start in center field in the second game. So the bench here in game 2 is Whit Merrifield, Alejandro Kirk, Lourdes Gurriel Jr., Santiago Espinal, and Bradley Zimmer. Line to right field, and that's down and headed to the wall. Bradley will make the turn and head to second, and he is in there with a hard hit double.
Just like last inning, after 1 out, Teoscar doubled in the same spot down that right field line. Blue Jays couldn't bring him around. Let's see if they do it as they turn the lineup over. Fastball up and in, and Jackie, who had a at bat in game number 1, hit the ball hard, but he didn't do a double play. Starts off game number 2 with a double.
Now George Springer, flied out to right in his first at bat. Center field in game 1 for Springer, DH in game 2. And now some activity. Left-hander Nick Vespi up in the Orioles pen. From an Orioles perspective, not ideal to have a bullpen game in this big of a series with 4 games in 3 days. Going to tax your bullpen, obviously. 1 and 2 on Springer.
And Blue Jays have to take advantage of it. You know, with Jordan Lyles, who's been tough against the Blue Jays this year. He's pitched a couple of really good games against him. Can't go today. You might still see him at some point in this series. Blue Jays have to take advantage of it today.
Jackie Bradley Jr. with a 1-out double. And Aiken facing Springer for the second time. Down low and a full count on Springer. Little 2 for the price of 1 for fans here today. Oriole fans and Blue Jay fans alike. Look like there aren't as many people here for game 2 as there were for game 1. Whether it was just later in the day or the threat of the weather or whatever, but it's the crowd's probably down by about 1/3 from game 1, I would think.
Cookout time, dinner time, right?
Doubleheader time. Ball 4 to Springer. You must have gone to doubleheaders at Riverfront Stadium as a kid.
I went to a doubleheader once when the Cincinnati Reds played the New York Mets, and there was this young fireballer named Nolan Ryan pitching. He started game 2. It's like, man, this guy might be pretty good someday.
You were on him early, huh?
It's 1971.
Wow.
Yes.
End of the line, it looks like, for Keegan Aiken. 2 1/3, 42 pitches into it. As Brandon Hyde is on his way to the mound, there is the signal to the bullpen. A little bit different because it's a doubleheader on September the 13th, a day-night doubleheader with the Tampa Bay Rays in town. Double the games, double the dogs. Visit BlueJays.com/tickets today. The first of several pitching changes here for the Orioles in what has turned into a bullpen game for them, as left-hander Nick Vespi is into the game.
Vespi, originally from Florida, 26 years old. Fastball slider. Last year he spent time between AA and AAA, and up and down a couple of times. 23 games this season. Just 8 walks and 25 innings for Vespi.
You know, it's interesting in the bullpen right now, and I think a lot of Blue Jay fans know this. The Blue Jays have actually hit righties better than lefties, even though they're a right-hand heavy lineup. But Baltimore entering this game actually has 5 lefties and 4 righties in their lineup, which is unusual. And 3 of the, well, one, Sulser was sent out, so 2 of the remaining righties pitched in the first game, in Crable and Baker. So the only righties he might have are Dylan Tate and Felix Bautista, who are like end of the game high leverage guys. It could be a parade of lefties, until this, like the 7th inning.
And they've got their share of rookie relievers also. Vespi's a rookie. He's one of 5 rookies with at least 5 wins out of the bullpen. That was a pretty nasty slider right there to Vladdy. They're going to have to pay attention to what they offer, because there's not a lot of history between these young pitchers and the Blue Jay hitters.
Bradley at second with a 1 down and a 1-1 count on Guerrero, who struck out against Aiken in his first inning at bat. Vladdy sends one to center field, but it is right at Cedric Mullins for the 2nd out. That'll bring up Bo Bichette, who stayed hot in game 1, Tabby.
Boy, what a first game he had. He singled his first time up. That was against Mike Baumann, then got another one right back through the middle. Drove in a run on a ground out, then struck out, and then came up clutch again in the 9th inning with another hit. So all told, he was 3 for 5 with a couple of RBIs. This is looking like the Bo Bichette of last season. And he says he has freed up his mind, and he feels really good right now at that plate, and it shows. Look at those numbers quietly going up there. 18 and 73.
Bradley at second, Springer at first, 2 down, and the Blue Jays down 1-0 in the 3rd. And a ball drilled to deep left field, and it is gone. A blast from Bo Bichette for number 19 on the season, and the Blue Jays have the lead.
You know what he has been doing, Dan? He has been jumping on that first pitch breaking ball and sending it soaring. He homered on a breaking ball on the first pitch in Pittsburgh. He got a big base hit on a first pitch breaking ball, and now gets a first pitch breaking ball, just a looping breaking ball over the plate, and he didn't miss it.
412 feet. You've got to hit it hard to get it out in left field here, and he certainly did that, and he knew it.
He knew it too. He could stand and admire that one. Breaking ball just looping on the inside part of the plate. No chance for that thing to go foul.
2-out, 3-run homer by Bichette. As Chapman hits it hard but foul, 1-2. And Bo, a guy, and we've seen this, Tabby, in his now 4 years in the big league, saw it his rookie season, saw it the shortened season before he got hurt, and saw it at times last year. His hot streak is about as hot as anybody's hot streak. He can be a game changer, you know, when he gets in one of those grooves for a couple of weeks.
You know, I think he knows it too. I think he knows he feels right. Picking on pitches, not over swinging. He's right where he needs to be.
I think he's going to hit third again tomorrow. Think he's done enough to warrant staying in the third spot?
I think he's got a good chance.
Yeah.
You know, John Schneider has always said that, you know, hey, you get hot, I'll move you back up there.
Yeah.
I'm not locked in having you hit down in the lineup. I have seen you for years and years what you can do. He's in a good place right now.
And a swing and a miss by Chapman. And the side is retired, but a 3-run inning on a 3-run homer by the red-hot Bo Bichette. And he knew it off the bat, didn't he? 3-1 Blue Jays going bottom 3. And Jif Peanut Butter, the official PB&J of the Toronto Blue Jays.
You won't find a prettier double play right here. Matt Chapman showing off that arm. Evan Biggio says, I can do that too. They get one at second. Great turn by Biggio, stretch by Guerrero. Blue Jays turn a tough double play.
So 3-1 Blue Jays going to the bottom of the third. Top of the order up for the Orioles against Jose Barrios, who has given up some hard contact in the early going. Not just the Odor home run, some base hits, a line out to deep right, but has now been staked to a 2-run lead. Mullins shows bunt and takes a strike, 2-1.
Mullins is a very good off-speed hitter. Rios is going to have to sink that ball, keep it on the edges, or change speeds.
Change up there, 2-2 the count.
That change up, if he's got a feel for that, that will work against his fastball. Right now, Dan, he doesn't have a feel for his fastball. He can't throw it where he wants to.
4-seamer and 2-seamer, neither one of them.
He's trying to make the adjustment on the mound.
In and out of the mid of Jansen, so still a full count on Mullins. In the air to left, and Tapia is there. One down. Well, as we mentioned, Barrios throws two different fastballs, the 4-seamer and the 2-seamer. In the early going this year, he was throwing the 4-seamer a lot more and was giving up a ton of damage on us. So as the year has gone on, Tabby, he has reduced the usage of the 4-seamer and he's throwing the sinker or the 2-seamer more.
That's okay. You know, he still has to be able to use that 4-seam fastball. He's got to sink it, but he's got to get it down. He's got to put it where he wants to. I like his ability to sink the ball. That'll keep him off the fastball just a little bit more, the 4-seamer. But right now he's struggling right now to try to find that release point, try to find the timing in his windup to be able to throw that fastball where he needs to.
Changeup and a swing and a miss. 0-1 on Adley Rutschman, who had a base hit his first time up. You know, you talk to pitchers and they'll say it's very rarely where you go into a game and all of your pitches feel good, and you don't know till you get out to the game mound sometimes which one's working well and which one isn't. As Rutschman drives one deep right center, Bradley back, and he's going to have to play it off the base of the fence. It goes through his legs. He's backed up by Biggio, and Rutschman with a double.
He threw him a great changeup for strike one. Had him way out in front. Then tried to slip the fastball by him, but gets under it and can't throw it and can't get it down. He gets under it, and look where it is. Right over the heart of the plate, about belt high. Good hitters are going to hit that ball, and they're going to hit it hard. He's going to either have to elevate it a little bit higher or get it down where the hitter has to reach for it. And I think Pete Walker notices the same thing, and he's going to come out and talk about it. The four-seam fastball is straight. If you don't throw it where you need to, good big league hitters are going to hit it hard.
In your mind, has that been his biggest issue this year, is missing over the heart of the plate with his fastball?
With his fastball.
Yeah.
You know, many times we have seen the catcher set up down and away, and it ends up over the middle of the plate, or up and in, and it ends up over the middle of the plate. And I think a lot of that has to do with the timing of his delivery, where he just doesn't sync up. Now, we have seen Jose when he has all of those pitches working, and he's dotting that outside corner with the fastball, or bringing it back, two-seaming it on the corners, and it's down, and then the changeup and the breaking ball work well with that. But when he has trouble throwing the fastball, the ball over with his fastball where he needs to, that's where he's had his problems this year.
And Anthony Santander is the batter now.
Yeah, what a first game he had. StatCast powered by Google Cloud's going to show us where he hit him. The one in the first inning, 105.6 miles per hour on the Utah Street. And then he just, for good measure, turns over left-handed from right-handed and hits it to deep left field. He's locked in right now. He is seeing the ball.
Changeup, and it's in there for a strike. On a few occasions already today when he's needed to make a pitch, he's gone to the changeup. And usually you think about his curveball more than his changeup as his top secondary pitch. Fastball, but he misses high.
I wouldn't give in to him here. I know you've got a tough hitter on deck in Ryan Mountcastle, but you got first base open.
Change up again, and it's hit out to Bichette. Waits for Guerrero to get to the bag, and they'll retire Santander. Rutschman comes to third, but that's a trade the Blue Jays will happily take. So with 2 outs and a runner at third, it's Ryan Mountcastle, who lined out to deep right his first time up. Our producer Chris Black telling me, Tabby, that Jose Barrios has yet to get a called strike or a swing and a miss on his fastball.
On the fastball. Yeah. He hasn't been able to throw it where he needs to. Here's one down and away. See if he can get it down and away.
Fouled back by Mountcastle. There's nothing wrong with the velocity. There hasn't been, except for one start. Remember, he had that one kind of dead arm period start back in June, maybe. Otherwise, the velocity's been fine. It's location. And Bruce Zimmerman, who was just added to the roster for the second game, Bo Sulser was optioned to the minors. Another left-hander is now getting loose for the Orioles. One and two. Chase 2-2.
He's become a good breaking ball hitter, Mountcastle, and a good fastball. hitter Orioles made a mistake last time, and he hit the ball hard to right field. Flew out to Teoscar in right field on a line. He's going to have to make a pitch here.
Grounded up the middle. Bichette has it, spins and throws. They got him at first. The big stretch by Vladdy on the other end to save a run. As Mountcastle is retired, and Barrios going to hang around to give his buddy a high five. A good play on both ends. First Bichette, and then the stretch by Vladdy. Good range by Bichette, spins the throw, takes Vladdy a little bit up the line, and how about that? That's all of the stretch that Vladdy has, and Barrios high fives both of them on their way into the dugout.
As he should. That was a tough play for Bo because he was going to his left, and when you spin around like that, it's tough to pick up the first baseman and throw accurately. He was close enough. Vladdy did the rest, and they retire a tough hitter and save a run. That might come in handy later in this ball game. Bo Bichette and Vladdy picking up their pitcher. Hope he's okay. Looks like he's
grimacing a little and talking to Alec Manoah about something, but hopefully it's nothing serious. Everybody's got something in September. 3-1 Blue Jays going to the top of the fourth, and another pitching change, and another left-hander. Bruce Zimmerman is into the game.
Well, you said it. They have 5 lefties on their roster for game number 2. Zimmerman will come in, just added to the roster today. He last pitched in the big leagues on July the 9th with Baltimore.
Teoscar Hernandez swings at the first pitch and grounds out to third. Zimmerman at AAA this year, 11 appearances, 9 starts, 59 innings. So this is, to use the terminology of the day, this would be the bulk guy, I guess, in the current setup right now for the Orioles.
There was some talk of possibly bringing him up here, and they went out and did it. And I don't know if it's an ideal situation with the Blue Jays right-handed batters, but they're starting him off. He'll get to face a couple of lefties in this inning.
The shift on against Cavan Biggio, who was called out on strikes in his first at bat. Slider down and away, 2-0. One final around the majors from earlier. The Yankees did manage to beat Minnesota today 5-2. Aaron Judge hit his 54th home run of the season. That one is hooked to first and caught by Mountcastle. 2 down as we send it down to field level and Arash Madani.
Well, Dan, it was a real cool scene today before the game here in Baltimore. There's Mark Budzinski. About 30 friends and family have made the trip here on this holiday Monday. The Budzinskis, of course, from Richmond, Virginia. That's about 3 hours away. And look at them all. They're here to pay tribute to Julia, a high school student who, of course, tragically passed this summer. Mark visited with the group between games. Another tribute from those near and dear to Julia, paying tribute to daughter and dad and the whole family here at Camden Yards.
Arash, thank you. And we've had a chance to spend a lot of time with the Mark Budzinski since he's come back, and obviously was with family for a long time, and that was incredibly important, and has gotten back into the the daily grind of the baseball season, and hopefully he finds a little bit of solace and in getting back into the daily routine with a team that loves, he's got 2 families. He's got his family and he's got the Blue Jay family as well.
Yeah, when you're a baseball player or in the business, you've got your marriage, your family, and you're also married to the game. And what a class individual Mark is, and of course we're still thinking about him and his family
all the time. Yeah. I'm sure he has enjoyed having so many people from home here for these 4 games in Baltimore. As Arash mentioned, not that far away.
Met his brother-in-law in Pittsburgh. He stopped me on the street, and we walked back from the ballpark the other day talking about him. So he got a pretty cool brother-in-law too.
The 2-2 to Raimel Tapia. Swung on and missed. 3 up, 3 down go the Blue Jays in the top of the 4th.
Baseball means to him, and his answer was, this is a different assignment. It was in Minnesota, where Barrios got a taste of the postseason on a few occasions, and he said each time was the most special time of his baseball career. He just couldn't believe how every pitch, every out, every moment mattered so much. Barrios said, you're feeling like the whole thing is bigger than you and the team because everyone in the stadium and the city is so invested on what's happening. Now, Barrios is the first to tell you his season has been up and down, but over the last few starts, he feels like he's finally finding his rhythm, has been able to execute the game plans, which with a month to go, Dan, could not come at a better time, a time where the Blue Jays need him the most.
Well, they need all 26 guys playing well here in September in order to assure themselves of a playoff spot. And listen, this was their opening day starter, and he's not in that spot right now. Obviously, in whatever order you please, Manoah and Gausman would be at the top of the rotation. But even though he has not had the kind of year that he's used to having, he's a very important guy.
Yeah, that last road, just go back to the last road trip when the Blue Jays went to New York and then went to Boston. Jose pitched twice on that road trip. 2 really tough places to pitch. He threw 12 2/3 innings, gave up 3 earned runs against 2 very good offenses. And that's the kind of pitcher the Blue Jays are going to need here in the month of September.
They obviously feel great about Manoah. They feel great about Gausman. They should feel great about Stripling, and obviously they do. Ross went 6 innings yesterday. He's now gone 6 or more in 4 straight starts. Gausman had a very strong performance earlier today in the first game of the doubleheader. You know, not only is Stripling, and I know he walked a couple and gave up 3 runs, not only is he giving them quality, but now again it's 6 or more innings, 4 starts in a row, and so they're letting him face that third time through the order a little bit more. He has obviously gained and earned some trust, and now hopefully tomorrow, weather permitting, hopefully they'll get more out of Mitch White than they got last time.
Yeah, I like the potential, I think, from Mitch White. He's got, I think, what it takes to be a winner at the big league level. Good arm, just needs some experience. We'll be leaning on him tomorrow.
Manoah will start the final game of the series. If you look at the Blue Jays schedule, this is what I do on airplanes. If you look at the Blue Jays schedule and try to piece it together, and there are off days here and there, Alek Manoah's next 4 starts look like it's a lock to be Baltimore, Tampa Bay, Baltimore, Tampa Bay. And those are the most important games they've got on their schedule. Swing and a miss, and Barrios strikes out Gunnar Henderson.
That's his first strikeout of the game, and it comes off of a changeup. He is showing a lot of confidence using his change. Just like Ross Stripling yesterday. You know how many changeups he threw yesterday? 43. It was just a good matchup for
Ross threw 43 changeups
43
yesterday.
changeups. And you can tell Barrios is feeling pretty good with his changeup, at least right now. Hopefully he'll find that breaking ball like that right there.
You know what else is funny? You and I were talking to Stripling on the field today, and his next start will be in Arlington. And he lives in Houston, but most of his family lives in Dallas. And he told us he's gotten 43 tickets for family members already for that game.
In counting.
Yeah.
In counting, right? 43.
43 is the number of the day for Ross Stripling. And then he said to us, what do you guys do up there if it rains for a long time? And we said to him, you want to come up? You're not pitching in this series. Like, help out a little.
Oh, he could do this job. Oh, yeah. He could do this job.
Fouled off, and it remains 0-2 on Ramon Urias, the third baseman. (3-1) Blue Jays, bottom 4. A Bo Bichette 3-run homer. Again, the 0-2. Up and in. So Jansen called for the high four-seamer. That's what they wanted, but the idea was up and over the plate to try to get a swing and a miss.
You're right. And again, he still does not have that feel for that command on his fastball. He's got it for the changeup, starting to get it with the curveball, but the fastball brushes Urias back.
And there's a base hit into left field. And this has been an issue for Barrios at times. Get ahead of him, get to 2 strikes, can't put a guy away.
And then stop the bleeding also in the inning. Wanted this one down and away, and it stayed over the middle of the plate. And now he's got to deal with Odor, who's already touched him up.
Odor with a home run onto Utah Street out in right field, his 12th of the season. Seems to have gotten over his dislike of hitters displaying a lot of emotion after hitting a home run. I think he's past that.
You think so?
I think he's past that. Like, of all the guys, you know.
Yeah.
Ball 1. Line to right field, but he hit it right at Teoscar Hernandez. 2 down. So again, hard contact. That has been one of the constants here with Barrios, but with some good defense behind him and some balls hit at people, he's only given up the 1 run.
Pitch count's in pretty good shape at just 55 now with 2 outs here in the 4th inning. It's funny, you know, you can be struggling and then all of a sudden you can find it, and all of a sudden you start painting with that fastball. It's just something that'll click in. And right now he's just fighting it to every pitch has been a battle for him to get outs.
Down to first, and Guerrero's got it. And the inning is over. No runs, a base hit, and a man left at the end of 4. 3-1 Blue Jays.
$0 a month. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
What better way to spend a Thursday afternoon than at the Rogers Center watching the Blue Jays? They will take on the Tampa Bay Rays in the final game of a 5-game series on Thursday, September the 15th. First pitch is at 3:07. Get your tickets today at BlueJays.com. Here in downtown Baltimore, the Blue Jays being out hit 6-3, but leading where it counts 3-1 thanks to the Bo Bichette home run.
They are mapping out their strategy here, Dan, as they get a little bit deeper into this game. You know what would help? There's Casey Candell, Pete Walker, and John Schneider talking about matchups as they go forward. I wonder if they're talking about if he's going to let Barrios face Santander Mountcastle for a 3rd time.
If they don't, he's, to use the terminology of the day, he's running out of runway if they're not going to, because those guys do up 4th and 5th the next inning. We'll be able to tell pretty soon if somebody gets up in the pen. You know, in April, May, you can let a guy work things out. You don't want to make too many moves and win a game today that might cost you 2 down the road. But now in September, in a race, it skews much more to the other end of the spectrum. Do whatever you got to do to win the game today and figure out tomorrow.
That's exactly right. One thing that could help is the offense. Do what they did in game number 1, score some runs to give them a little bit more of that runway. Blue Jays faced Bruce Zimmerman earlier this season. He was matched up against Jose Barrios back on June the 15th, and they knocked him around. He threw 4 2/3 innings, gave up 11 hits and 6 earned runs to the Blue Jays. So they should figure this guy out. They have faced him in the past.
I wonder sometimes, like when you played, there were fewer teams in the league. There were fewer pitchers on each staff. And starters stayed in longer. You knew guys. I wonder, like, they faced him in June. Do they remember Bruce Zimmerman? You know, you might face, say, 3 guys a game, maybe 4 on average. And I wonder how much from week to week, month to month, as Jansen pops it up, they remember the different guys who come in out of the bullpens and face them.
Well, they better. You know, I mean, you know guys that you have faced before when you stand in there.
Yeah.
It comes back to you. You remember them, and if you don't, you've got the video right there to remind you. And you've got plenty of guys in your ear telling you what they throw, so they should remember.
Here's Jackie Bradley Jr.
If not, come and see me. I'll tell you.
You remember everything.
Because I remember them.
I could mention some guy, you know, some run-of-the-mill Minnesota Twins reliever from 1984, and you'd be able to tell me the at-bats.
Yes.
It's crazy. Up the middle, a base hit. Jackie Bradley Jr.'s 2 for 2.
You know who was like that? Reggie Jackson's like that. He told me one night, he said, I can tell you everything about every home run I ever hit, who it was against and what the pitch was. So I started playing a game against him. I said, all right, what was number 500? Bud Black hanging breaking ball in Anaheim.
Really?
It's unbelievable.
Wow.
So the Blue Jays should remember what Bruce Zimmerman has. 4-seam fastball, changeup, slider, and occasional curve. Loves to use the changeup.
Pitch in the dirt to George Springer, ball 1. Springer a fly ball out and a walk today. Came around to score on the Bichette home run. Bradley the lead, being held on by Mountcastle. And Springer pops one up into shallow right center, sending Odor back. And he made the catch, maybe a little more eventful maybe than it was expected to be. 2 down.
Well, that's his pitch right there, the changeup. I don't know if the players can go up there looking for it, but they can't anticipate him throwing the changeup. He's not going to throw the fastball by you. So you can look at things a little bit differently. You can look for something off speed and adjust the fastball because it's not 96 or 97.
If somebody says to you, well, this guy reminds me of that guy, you know that guy. Like if they were to say he's like Yarbrough or somebody like that, can you go up there and pretend it's Yarbrough, not Zimmerman, if they're similar as a hitter, just to kind of?
It's still a different arm angle and a different spin. It's a different everything. But it was just June 15th. It was just a couple of months ago. They should remember. And they got 11 hits against him.
I have struck a nerve here with this conversation. I apologize for
Vladdy homered against him. So he should
remember.
Yes.
Bounce foul, 1-1. Not sure about Arash Madani's effort on that ball. Could have been a little more lateral movement. Could have been any lateral movement. I mean,
he's thinking about Sunday.
Yeah. Swinging bunt up the third baseline, and it goes foul just before the bag. Arash, your thoughts?
You didn't expect any effort.
No.
Mr. Schulman, did you?
No.
It's midway through game 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did wake me up though.
Glad he's going to take his time heading back down the line to first.
18 innings today.
They're booing him for taking so much time. When's the last time you saw a Knoxville Blue Jays t-shirt?
1980 in the Southern League.
1980 to 2002. The lifespan of the Knoxville Blue Jays. Bradley leaning a little bit over at first, not going, and Guerrero bounces one towards third. This one stays fair, and he and the Blue Jays are retired. To the bottom of the fifth, still 3-1 Blue Jays, as we get an update in the studio with Jamie Campbell. Is on the active roster. He was placed on the roster between games. Casey Lawrence was optioned to AAA Buffalo. Merriweather has missed over 3 months with an oblique injury. Made about a dozen rehab outings down to the minors, most of them at AAA Buffalo. The numbers very good, the velocity very good, and he is on the big league roster and available in this game.
Yeah, and we might see him at some point today, maybe even tomorrow. Julian, maybe game 2. That's what we heard before ball game, and here he is. Blue Jays have some options on the pitching side. Nate Pearson threw an inning the other day. Taylor Saucedo gained production down in Buffalo. So there are some other moves as the AAA team just keeps playing. They're going to play all through the month of September.
Right. Big difference. Minor league season. And the higher up you go, the longer the season goes. It used to be over Labor. It used to be over today. Mm-hmm. 3-1 bottom 5. All right, Tabby. So our producer Chris Black did a little work during the break, and he compared the number of pitchers you faced. You had 1,202 games in the majors. Bo Bichette's had 364.
Wow.
Okay, so you've had about 3.5 times as many. Bo, by the end of this season, Bo might have seen more pitchers than you've seen. Bo has seen 482 pitchers. You saw 537 distinct pitchers in your major league career, because you would see 1, maybe 2 a game, and obviously the game is much different now. Yeah,
there's more teams.
There are more teams now, more pitchers on the staff now, and more pitching changes now.
Yes. Yeah, he might do that by the end of the season.
It's a whole different animal. So when you came up in the American League, there were 76? No, you were drafted in 76. So when you came up, there were 14 teams in the American League, right?
I think 7 and 7.
7 and 7.
7, I think.
So not a huge difference.
There was just 2 divisions.
Yeah. It more so has to do with the number of pitchers on the staff and the number of pitching changes. So. You know, we'll ask some guys tomorrow. We won't ask them if they remember Bruce Zimmerman like from today, but we can pick out some random guy from May and say,
what do you remember?
Yeah.
Tell me what you know.
Tabby says you should remember everybody.
I have asked guys before about certain pitchers before the ball game and say, what do you know about them? And they're in the lineup and they go, are they lefty or righty? That has happened before.
Swing and a miss by Chirinos. Yeah, I've had the same thing, and not with a current member of the Blue Jays, but a switch hitter who I went to and said, why did you take batting practice all from that side? Because the guy throws this way, and the same thing. And the hitter, now this, I'm talking about, this is 20 years ago. 20 years ago, right? So it's all different now. There's the coaching is much more hands-on. The information is everywhere right now. That doesn't happen anymore. But not everybody's as locked in as you are.
Whatever. You know?
Yeah. Cedric Mullins with a fly ball to left. Tapia there. 2 down.
There is a lot of information and a lot of opportunities for guys nowadays to get what they need on anybody. You can see tendencies. You can go watch at bats that you just had against Jose Brios. You can go in and go watch your at bat. You can watch your at bats from 2 years ago if you want to. Not saying it's easier, there's just more information for hitters.
But even when you played, some guys must have wanted information more than other guys.
And it wasn't available. They had to keep their own little black book. I know players who would sit after at bats and write in a little black book. You know, and then by the end of the year, they had an idea of what the guy was trying to do to them.
0-1 the count on Adley Rutschman, who has singled and doubled today. And another play for Tapia. Heading over towards the line. He's there, and it's the first 3-up, 3-down inning of the ball game for Jose Barrios. The first day, September 17th, is Marvel Superhero Day, and the first 15,000 fans of the Rogers Center. Plus, there will be Marvel photo ops and activities in the WestJet flight deck throughout the game. Go to BlueJays.com/tickets to get yours. I heard you and Buck were talking about it, and you said Batman was your favorite.
But he's not a Marvel.
But he's not a Marvel guy. I didn't know that either. So
yeah.
There's no judging. This is a safe zone. So, but Spider-Man is Marvel.
Yes. Yeah. But he just asked me who my favorite character was.
Superhero. That's fair.
Batman.
Yeah. So it's really on him. It's not on you. 3-1 Blue Jays top 6. Here's Bo Bichette. First pitch swinging and good contact. Deep right field and gone. His second home run of the ball game. And it is 4-1.
I'll tell you what. Bo Bichette's not red hot. He's white hot right now. That was a four-seam fastball. Again, a first pitch home run, which you gotta love. Don't cool them off, boys. Keep them hot.
Well, he stays pretty locked in. He's not, you don't see the big Teoscar smile at the end of the dugout when Bo's got the jacket on, but whatever he's doing, just keep on doing it right now. Matt Chapman out at first on a close play. Pulls a breaking ball to left. And then in this at bat, gets a fastball up above the zone and cranks it to right.
Did you see the finish that he had? You don't want to cut your swing off. You want to finish high. Watch how he finishes high with that. So he drives through that baseball. That is a thing of beauty right there.
8th career multi-home run game for Bo Bichette. And reaching 20 home runs for the second time in his career. Had 29 last season. Boy, we talked about it in the first game. His hot is about as hot as anybody's hot, and he is right in the middle of it right now.
He told me the other day, he says, I'm in a good place right now. I just feel freed up. I feel like everything is working for me right now. He says, I just feel good.
Which he doesn't say very often.
No.
Most of the time he says, I'm kind of fighting it and I'm not really comfortable and I'll get there, but I got to work through some things. And
you know what the biggest thing he said? He said, I need to be myself. And I said, well, who's that? He said, I need to be aggressive. I'm not a guy who works the count or gets deep into it, or I'm an aggressive type of hitter. That's another first pitch home run. That's who he is. He goes, I know who I am and what I'm capable of doing.
he is now 23 for his last 58. That's a .397 average. That'll get you a hug. Swing and a miss to get Teoscar 2 down.
Step up to the plate and take on any DIY project. At Home Hardware Building Centers, we have everything to build anything. Here's how.
Second game of the doubleheader. Somewhat miraculously, the rain has not only held off, the weather's gotten better. I mean, if you had said to me in the first inning of game one they'd be where they are right now. I just said no way. Not the way the forecast looked, and not how hard it was raining in the first inning of game 1. And now you can see some blue sky poking through, and here they are in the 6th inning of game 2. Don't jinx it, right?
Just play the game. Just come and play the game.
Yeah.
Worry about the things that you can handle. I think that's what the players are telling themselves right now.
1-2 on Kevin Biggio, who's 0 for 2. In and out of the mid of Chirinos, still 0-2. Bullpen days so far for the Orioles. 3 separate lefties. Now again, Zimmerman has been mostly a starter in the minors, and he is into his 3rd inning in relief here in this game, so he can give him some length. Now Biggio drills one, and this one will go. 3rd home run in his last 5 games, and that makes it 5-1.
I think John Snyder had a hunch about Kevin Biggio playing 2 games here. He has had good numbers in the past, and this ballpark came into this game with a .314 average and 7 home runs in 18 games before today. And mom and his brother in the house waving to him. Kevin, stay hot, my man.
Bichette and Biggio home runs here this inning. And Biggio hit a tabby on an 0-2 pitch. He came into that at bat hitting .073 on the season on 0-2 counts, and just hit a home run off a lefty on an 0-2 count. Whoops.
Heads up. I don't think he wants that bat back, does he? Bud went and got it for him.
Wow.
That's a helpless feeling when you swing and you lose the bat, and thank goodness they have the netting up.
Top of your ready now, and another 0-2 on the way from Zimmerman. Taken low. Tampa Bay has just scored twice in the bottom of the 7th at the Trop, so they now lead the Red Sox 4-3. Rays a half game ahead of the Blue Jays at the moment. Up the middle, and nobody's going to get there. Didn't hit it hard at all, but boy, did he hit it to the right spot.
That'll make up for some of those balls that he hits right at people that he is robbed of. They were in the shift, and he's going to beat the shift with a base hit back through the middle. Odor, the second baseman, pulled way around at second base, and Henderson, the shortstop, he's not going to get to it. Tapia will take that. Blue Jays now have out-hit the Orioles at 7-6.
So a 2-out base runner for the Blue Jays, and here's Danny Jansen, 0 for 2 on the afternoon. A fly ball to left and a pop up to short. And he stings one into left center for a base hit. Tapia around second, hesitated for a moment, then turns it on and glides into third.
Danny Jansen's going to pick up his first base hit of the afternoon. A solid single to center field. For some reason, they were playing him to right center field. And Tapia recognizes that Cedric Mullins has a long way to go get that baseball. They're not going to throw him out, so he takes advantage of that. Moves up to third base. Blue Jays have had some good at-bats against the left-hander now. Second time through the lineup for Zimmerman. He's working on his third inning of work. They've had some comfortable at-bats this inning against him.
Blue Jays winning game 1. If you didn't see it, 7-3. A real nail biter for 8 innings before the Blue Jays got 3 in the top of the 9th. Very nice outing from Kevin Gausman. Meza, Simber, and Pop finished it up out of the bullpen. Oscar Hernandez hit a big home run. Bo Bichette had 3 hits. George Springer had 3 hits. And now they have, and Lourdes Gurriel Jr. had 3 hits as well. Now they have swung the bats well here in game 2. Including this guy, Jackie Bradley Jr.'s 2 for 2 with a single and a double.
One of those hits was against Bruce Zimmerman. He got a base hit his last time up against him. That was just last inning. See if he can catch these runs in.
Jansen running, and there is no throw. So Danny Jansen with a stolen base.
Teams are doing that more often. First and third situations, they're sending that runner from first base, and they're not throwing through. Danny Jansen's going to pick up a stolen base as they send the runner. Now, if they did throw through, I'm sure he was going to stop, get in a rundown, try and steal that run from third base.
That is his first major league stolen base.
No wonder he got a smile from DJ.
And Bradley got a piece of it, still up there.
But teams lately are not electing to throw through, figuring that the double steal is on, so they just give them second base.
So Tapia at third, Jansen at second. And the 1-2 hit pretty well towards the left field corner, and it is fair. And it'll skip up into the seats. A double for Bradley will drive in 2 more runs.
And that stolen base does come back to score. Remember, if he doesn't steal that base, that ground rule double, Jano would have to go back to third base, but because he was in scoring position, Jackie Bradley have a night. 3 hits, 22nd double. Take this ball away from you and slice it down the left field line. That's 4 straight hard hit balls by Jackie Bradley. He played in game 1 and hit into a double play, but smoked that ball back through the middle. This time he's going to pick up a couple of big runs as the Blue Jays have had a big inning.
First 3-hit game of the season for Bradley, either as a member of the Red Sox or the Blue Jays. And this has turned into a 4-run inning. And now, even though there's been some hard contact against Jose Barrios, and even though Santander and Mountcastle are coming up, I'm sure John Schneider feels better, Tabby, about sending Berrios back out for the 6th and saving some arms in the bullpen.
Yeah, he's got some leeway now. And that last inning from Berrios was his best. 3 up, 3 down. And maybe he's starting to get the feel for that breaking ball and that fastball.
Ground ball down to third. Urias has it. And finally, the Blue Jays are retired, but they score 4 runs in the top of the 6th. And 2 of them on home runs. Bo Bichette with his 2nd home run of the ball game. This one to right field. And then Kevin Biggio on an 0-2 pitch goes deep to right. 7-1 Jays. Jeff Nelson, whenever they bring the iPad out, Tabby, this is never good news. And it has started raining, not heavily, but it has started raining here between innings in Baltimore. It's obviously a complete unofficial game at this point into the 6th inning. Those who brought umbrellas are glad that they did. And we'll see how it plays out over the next few innings. Jose Berrios back out to work the bottom of the 6th.
Keep him in a groove. Keep him pitching. 1, 2, 3 inning last time.
Doesn't get the call on the first pitch as Anthony Santander leads it off 0 for 2. Santander, Mountcastle, and Henderson 3, 4, 5. And a strike, 1-1.
That's been clutch for him tonight, hasn't it? That changeup kept the hitters off his fastball.
Sent foul up the third baseline, 1-2. Nobody up in the Blue Jays bullpen. Berrios about to throw pitch number 70. And again, there's been a lot of hard contact today. None of it in the last inning. A 3 up, 3 down as Bradley glides into the alley in deep right center and makes the play 1 down as we check in with Arash Madani.
Well, Dan, you talked about Julian Merriweather earlier. There's some progress on the Nate Pearson front. He threw a scoreless inning for single-A Dunedin yesterday. That's the first game Pearson has pitched since mid-June. 10 pitches, fastball sat near 97, peaked just shy of 99. The next stop for Pearson is AAA Buffalo. Now that's a real step. You don't want to get too carried away wondering about what that may mean for the playoff push the last couple of weeks. A long way to go, but not being counted out right now by the Blue Jays for the end of the month.
Arash, thank you. Yeah, no time frame on moving to Buffalo. John Schneider said before the game, hopefully they can get Pearson to Buffalo soon. The first step is how does he feel today after the inning in Dunedin last night. And then Schneider, unsolicited, went on to say, Tabby, a lot depends on how he feels. And then here's the important part, how he performs.
Right.
And everybody's been very clear about this for a while. I mean, he's had a ton of injuries over the last couple of years, but
he's got to earn it.
Like a Julian Merriweather, you got to earn your way back to the.
That's exactly right. Not where this team is right now. You have got to earn your innings. You pitch well and you help this club, you will pitch.
And inside, ball 4 to Mountcastle. I think they feel the bullpen's probably in about the best shape it has been in all season. Obviously, the addition of Anthony Bass has been a very important addition to the bullpen. Jordan Romano is pitching as well as a guy can pitch the last couple of months right now. And he was pretty good before that, but he's taken it up a notch. It looks like Tim Mesa's got it going again right now. Trevor Richards has pitched extremely well the last couple of months.
Dan, he was so good the other day when he came in and started the game. Opened the game, if you will. 2 innings against Pittsburgh, 3 punch-outs, no walks, no runs. That bullpen day for the Blue Jays, that was on Saturday. 7 relievers held the Pirates to 1 run. Kikuchi came in and gave him 2 1/3 innings and had 5 strikeouts. He's throwing the ball much better.
Blue Jay bullpen, a 2.41 ERA over the last 22 games.
Got 2 fresh arms today. You mentioned Merriweather. We also saw Zach Pop for the doubleheader. Be interesting to see what they do after the ball game today.
Somebody's got to go. Biggio to Chapman. Back to first, but not in time. Fielder's choice Henderson. 2 down. But Pop and Merriweather are in different situations. Merriweather was just called up to the big leagues. Pop was added as the 29th man. If they send Merriweather back down after being here for 1 day, they can't call him up again for 15 days.
Right.
Because Pop was the bullpen, the 29th man, he can go down and they can still bring him back. Whenever. So unfortunately for Zach, again,
numbers
just kind of logistically and the way the rules work, he's at a disadvantage right now. So I would guess Pop goes back down and Merriweather stays. And then if they were to have a need tomorrow or the next day, Pop could come back up again. But you don't want to send a guy down and lose him for 15 days unless there's a reason to do that. Now, if somebody gets hurt, then anybody can come back up, right? 2 down for Ramon Urias. And a ground ball hit weakly to short. Bichette's got to come get it. Throws and gets him. No runs, no hits, a man left. 6 innings now for Jose Barrios. And the last 2, his best 2. It is 7-1 Blue Jays as we get a Blue Jays Central update now with Jamie Campbell and Joe Siddall. Super September 50-50 jackpot is already over $200,000. And there's more. 20 early bird prizes, Jays merchandise, $10,000 cash prizes. Visit BlueJays.com/5050 to get your pre-sale tickets now. This is going to climb and climb and climb through the month of September. It's going to be a huge number by the time it's all said and done.
You got that right.
7-1 Blue Jays going to the top of the 7th. Bo Bichette leading the way with 2 homers, 4 RBIs. Kevin Biggio has homered. Jackie Bradley Jr.'s 3 for 3 with a couple of RBIs. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. leads it off. He is 0 for 3 here in game 2 after going 2 for 4 in game 1.
I like the at-bats that we have seen from the Blue Jays today. Their approach has been really good against some good pitching.
Vladdy grounds out, 1 down. You know, in a couple of key spots in game 1, just getting a look at Gunnar Henderson there, the Orioles, and this is where they are at in their development. They've obviously come a long way this year. But Gunnar Henderson, who's in his first week in the big leagues, had 2 plays where they could have turned double plays, and he rushed it both times, and it cost them a run both times. And then DL Hall, who's in his first week in the big leagues, comes on in a very close game to face Springer, Guerrero, Bichette, because they're reliant on young players, and they're good players, and they're going to be very good players. But you know, again, they're a couple years behind where the Blue Jays are. As Bichette cranks another one deep left center, it's gone. A 3-home run game for Bo Bichette. Man, oh man.
Words cannot describe what we are witnessing today from Bo Bichette. All I know is he becomes the 25th time in Blue Jay history that a player has hit 3 home runs in a ball game.
The first time he has done it in his career. Boy, 3 different parts of the ballpark too. Will we get a little smile on this one?
Now, stay locked in. Keep the game face on. You're right. 3-run home run down the left field line, home run to right field, and then that laser right there to dead center.
Gurriel just tried to get him. I think that was Lourdes pointing at the camera at the end of the dugout. He said, "You got to go down to the camera, Bo." Yeah.
Last time Blue Jay had a 3 home run game this year.
Vladimir Guerrero Jr. against the Yankees.
Got Garrett Cole a couple of times.
Well, let's see if they can get a couple more guys on and make sure he gets an at bat in the 9th inning. 3-1 on Chapman. It is raining, not too much, but it is raining here. But between the rain and the score, it looks like a lot of the Oriole fans have decided to pack it in for the night. Ground ball to short. Henderson up with it. 2 down.
You know what it's raining? It's raining Bo Bichette home runs. That's what it's raining. Laser out over the plate. Sinks up his swing. Times it up beautifully. And on a line to dead center field with room to spare. Wow.
So a slider he hit out to left, a fastball he hit out to right, and a changeup he hit to left center. How good is that?
Is it that easy?
Get him up there one more time. A strike taken by Teoscar Hernandez. It is 1-1.
What a day for Bo. That's his 6th base hit on the afternoon. And he has now driven in 7 runs today.
6 for 9, 7 RBIs. Have a day.
I like his chances of hitting 3rd tomorrow.
Teoscar sends one down the right field line and dropping in for a base hit. Hernandez on his way to second and in there with his 2nd double down the right field line in this game.
He got his first time up and was stranded out at second base in the 2nd inning. You're going to get pinch run for now as this ball away, curveball away, stays on it and slices it down the right field line. Turns on the Jets right there. Picks up another extra base hit.
And Teoscar's going to come out of the game. Pinch runner Bradley Zimmer is coming in, and Zimmer of course can stay in the game and play the outfield. Here's Kevin Biggio. He homered his last time up. It's raining harder now, Tabby.
I think this is a, you've heard it say in baseball, taking one for the team. I think Bruce Zimmerman's taking one for the team.
Is he ever? Yeah. Ground ball to the right side, and it'll be Henderson, the shortstop, cutting in front of Odor to make the play to take us to the 7th inning stretch. But Bo Bichette continues to have just a monster day at the ballpark. He has hit 3 home runs. It's the most memorable moments and the biggest plays, as this postseason could be next level. Get guaranteed postseason access now by becoming a 2023 season ticket member. Visit BlueJays.com/season tickets today. Bradley Zimmer stays in the game in center field. Jackie Bradley Jr. moves from center to right. And it's all Blue Jays. 8-1, bottom 7 as Rougned Odor leads it off, and Jose Barrios still on the mound.
Why not? He seems to have found his groove. The last time he gave up a base hit was back in the 4th inning. He's going to have to deal with the rain, though. I think it's coming down pretty good right now.
Ball 3 to Odor. Does not look like anybody is throwing in the Blue Jays pen. I don't think anybody's been up at any point today in this game. It's in the hands of Jeff Nelson, the crew chief, right now with the rain falling. There's a strike, 3-1.
And if that mound starts to get a little wet or a little bit damp, he's going to have to let him know that. He's trying to find a spot that's dry on his uniform where he can wipe his hand. Trying to clean his cleats so he can get a nice push off that pitching rubber. You can see he's struggling with trying to find a dry spot on that baseball.
There's ball 4. Well, so far so good for the Blue Jays through one and most of the second game. This was Ross Stripling after his outing in Pittsburgh yesterday when asked about this series, saying, quote, "Good teams take care of business. We understand we are the better team." And they haven't always played like the better team against the Orioles this season, but they definitely have today.
Don't you get the sense that the Blue Jays really rise to the occasion? These young players when the big stage, and they know the importance of this series. They seem to rise to the occasion.
Stowers knocks one into center field for a base hit. 2 on with nobody out.
They know the importance of this road trip. This is a big road trip. This is a big series. And they have, at least so far today, have come ready to play.
And now Chirinos. He is 0 for 2 on a line out and a strikeout. And again, Barrios having to work hard just to keep his hand dry and to try to find some solid footing out on the mound. It's not pouring, but it's a steady rain.
Yeah, it'll get wet out there. And, you know, he's been around long enough to know that he can call out the ground crew and throw some of that diamond dust there to make sure he's got good footing.
And it's Julian Merriweather getting up in the bullpen. Little flare towards shallow right, and that'll get down. Bradley plays it on a bounce, and the bases are loaded.
Bottom of the lineup has set it up for the Baltimore Orioles as Pete Walker wants to get an update on his reliever. The leadoff walk, single, has turned the lineup over again. It's never easy, is it?
Give Merriweather a little bit more time, but he's starting to throw hard now out of the bullpen. Lots of hard contact the first 3, maybe even the first 4 innings, but the 5th and 6th went great for Barrios. That's when the offense came to life. And now just trying to minimize the damage. If they get 1 or 2 here, it's fine. Just stay out of the big inning.
That's right. You're counting outs right now. You need 9 more to get through this inning. Not a lot of hard contact as Trevor Richards has gotten up himself.
Top of the order now. That was 7, 8, 9 with the walk and a couple of base hits. Here's Cedric Mullins. I would say it's raining harder, Tab.
Yeah,
it's coming down pretty good. And player safety's got to be considered here too.
Yeah, watch the field.
Yeah.
Make sure. I'd call timeout and have him come out and put something on that mound.
I mean, Barrios, it's obvious from Barrios' actions. He's trying to let everybody know it's pretty slippery out there. He's trying to get good footing, trying to keep his hand dry if he can, making the best of the situation, but it is far from ideal.
Yeah, and notice he hasn't been able to throw the ball where he needs to. That's why I would like bring the diamond dry out, just to make sure there's nothing in my mind that feels like when I hit that ground I still have my footing. He looks a little bit in between right now.
Now back 2-2. Oh no, and catcher's interference is the call. Stu Sherwater signaling that is catcher's interference on Danny Jansen. So Jansen will get charged with an error, and a run will come in to score to make it 8-2, and the bases remain loaded.
And Blue Jays are saying they want to take a look at that. John Schneider has signaled to the home plate umpire they want to look at it.
Which means Jansen must have said to the dugout, didn't happen, didn't hit me. Like, you can see Jansen reaching back for a new baseball right away. This is going to be tough. I mean, can they get a clean enough look to prove that the bat did not hit the mitt? I totally believe that Jansen said it didn't happen, and it didn't happen, but I don't know if you can prove it didn't happen. I think it did.
Yeah, looking at that slow motion, you're right. That is our first look at it. Cedric Mullins right away said he thought that he hit Danny's glove. And depending on this call right here, that might give the relievers a chance to warm up.
The call stands. It is catcher's interference. Toronto will lose its challenge.
We might see a pitching change.
And looks like we will. Merriweather sat down. I think it was Trevor Richards alone who has been warming up the last minute or so. So 6 innings, 6+ innings for Jose Barrios. As he leaves the ball game, the rain continues to fall, and Trevor Richards will be coming in from the bullpen. All things Blue Jays and Major League Baseball. Listen to the Blair and Barker podcast every day on Apple and Spotify. They planned ahead. They knew what was coming, and they're happy to watch a ball game right now. It is 8-2 for the Blue Jays. The bases are loaded with nobody out. Trevor Richards into the game.
He can't pitch any better than the way he did when he opened up the game for the Blue Jays Saturday. That was against the Pirates. It was a bullpen day. Trevor got the call by John Schneider. 2 innings. He just gave up a scratch hit to Castro. 3 punch-outs. That's how he ended his day that day, with 3 punch-outs. He had a great changeup working over those 2 innings, and hopefully he's got the same type of changeup here, because this is a mess. Bases loaded, nobody out, and 1 run already in.
Adley Rutschman 2 for 3. And a swing and a miss. Look at that swing at the changeup.
Yeah, beautiful. He was sitting dead red. First pitch fastball, and he threw him a great changeup.
Richards was on the IL late June, early July, and since coming off the IL. Looked like he did. Yes, he did. It's 0-2. Over the last 2 months, Trevor Richards has a 1.80 ERA with 36 strikeouts in 25 innings. downstairs.
He fell off the mound. He's got to have. They got to call the umpires.
They got to stop
out.
this. Yeah.
Yeah. They got to do something about.
Somebody's going to get hurt.
Did you see how he finished this pitch there? He just lost his footing.
And there's Jeff Nelson. He's the crew chief. He's in charge. We don't know what he has seen in terms of the weather from the grounds crew.
Look at John Schneider.
Yeah, we're getting into unplayable territory.
Come on.
You should always err on the side of caution, shouldn't you? Ground ball to first. Vladdy DeBow for one, and that's all they'll get. A run comes in to score. It is 8-3.
Here's the pitch that I was talking about. Watch Trevor Richards finish. He slipped. It was actually his back foot that slipped first, and then the front foot, the plant foot. You got to. John Schneider saying, "Can you please put something out on the mound?" He's slipping all over the place.
I mean, it seems wrong that they haven't stopped the game. It seems twice as wrong that they haven't actually at least tried to, work on the mound a little bit before somebody gets hurt.
I'd put some around home plate too, for the batters.
They also could have done this during the challenge, right? They had 3 minutes to do this as well. It's not the grounds crew's fault. They can't just rush the field. They got to be asked to come on the field.
Is he going to do that all by himself?
It's not working as efficiently as it should be right now, huh?
Doesn't look like they're in much of a hurry.
Yeah.
Usually you have 2 or 3 guys working on the mound.
And I'm not sure the rain's going to be stopping at any point in the next couple of hours. Working around home plate as well.
For the catchers and for the batters, just to get some kind of footing so you can do your job.
You've played in games like this, like never mind that it's no fun, and you played infield and outfield, so you dealt with all kinds of different situations. But I mean, you must have played in games where guys got hurt.
Well, throwing becomes because you're thinking about your footing instead of trying to make the play. So I can't imagine what a pitcher goes through if he has any kind of doubt with that plant foot if he's going to slide. You can hurt your legs, you can hurt your arms, any of that. So I'm surprised that it's taken him this long to put some of that diamond dry down.
So it is 8-3 with the runners at first and third, 1 out, and ready to get back to it with Anthony Santander coming up. He is 0 for 3 after hitting a couple of home runs in game 1. Crowd is down to I don't know, a couple of thousand of hardy souls right now.
I think everybody's tucked up underneath the bleachers to stay dry.
Like if this is May, this game's called. They're at least going into a delay.
Yeah.
It's September. These are 2 contending teams. We get it, but this is not good. Popped up, Chapman going back. In shallow left, he makes the catch, 2 down.
Boy, what a pitch right there from Trevor Richards against a hot hitter. With that fastball, kept it on the infield so that run can't score. Not out of the woods just yet. He's got to deal with Mountcastle. 2-0 count, fastball in. And that pop-up leaves that runner at third base.
Mountcastle 0 for 2 with a walk. And out of play down the right field line, 0-1.
He's going to be tough to get out. We mentioned the numbers that he has had in his career, and he's also had big numbers against Trevor Richards. He's faced him 4 times or 7 times. He's had 4 hits.
It's always the loud ones who stay during the rain, right?
They're the ones you hear, right? During the rain delays.
Yeah, they're the feisty ones. Rain's not bugging him a bit.
Trying to get him fired up. Make a good pitch.
And again, Richards has trouble with his footing after a pitch. There's a strike. Close to the outside corner. It's 2-2. I mean, it's got to be a battle for him just to throw strikes, just to grip the baseball the way he wants to.
Again, you know, you don't want to have any doubt in your mind for your plant foot. You can't then do your job. Clean your spikes, try to find a dry spot, and then make a pitch. It'll be a challenge.
And a big high chopper to third. Chapman has to go across the infield. Guerrero makes the play with another big stretch. And the bottom of the 7th comes to a close. The Orioles get 2. The rain a huge factor. Vladdy another good play. A 3 is underway. The Rays are in town for a 5-game 4-day series. September the 12th to the 15th, day-night doubleheader on the Tuesday. Get your tickets today at BlueJays.com. Here in Baltimore, 8-3 Blue Jays going to the top of the 8th. 2 of the hardy souls who have braved out the rain over the last 45 minutes or so. A couple that's half Oriole and half Blue Jay in the Battle of the Birds. Playing air guitar on his scorebook in the rain in an 8-3 game.
Well, I'm looking at my scorebook here, and by my account, Bo Bichette is guaranteed another at bat in the 9th inning.
If the game doesn't get called, yes.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to get called at this point. But if you're just tuning in, Bo's hit 3 home runs tonight. He's going to have a chance to go for 4. And I've seen it. I've seen a 4 home run game. The Carlos Delgado game is one of the greatest things I've ever seen on a baseball field.
It's only been done like 20-some times in Major League history. Here are the first 3.
Breaking ball, hammered down the line, 3-run home run. That was off a slider. Fastball, let's hit one to right field. That was leading off the 6th inning. Changeup, I think I'll hit one to center field on a laser. That was with 1 out in the 7th inning. A couple more batters reached base then in the 7th inning, so you got a guarantee now. Blue Jays play all the way through that he will come up in the 9th inning.
Raimel Tapia leads off the 8th and takes a strike. Tapia is 1 for 3, singled and scored in the 6th. Down and away, 2-1. David Phelps will be next out of the Blue Jay bullpen. And a huge swing and a miss. 2-2.
He was trying to go yard too. Kevin Biggio's had a home run today in game number 2. We just saw Bo's 3. He was trying to launch right there on that pitch.
And just in, a full count. Swing and a miss. Tapia down, 1 down. Zimmerman entered this game in the top of the 4th, and he's still out there right now. And again, a starter in the minor league, so he is stretched out. Danny Jansen 1 for 3 on the night. Singled, stole his first major league base, and then came around to score in the 6th inning. Now they didn't throw down. There was a runner at third, but why let the details get in the way of a great story?
I don't know if people pick up the newspaper anymore, but if you pick up the newspaper and look at the box score, it says Jansen stolen base. Doesn't matter. Why worry about details?
Right.
Right? He was very excited about that. You know what? It got the Blue Jays a couple of runs. Jackie Bradley double right after that stolen base. It was a ground rule double.
Hit hard but foul, third base side.
You mentioned about Zimmerman. He has been stretched out this year, but a lot of the games came earlier in this season. The most he has thrown in an outing is 6 1/3 innings, but he did that way back on May the 24th. That was at New York.
Outside. Fouled back, 3-2. Well, there is supposed to be some rain in the forecast tomorrow as well. And again, they've got a mutual off day on Thursday, one that both teams would rather not use. But if they play tomorrow, we'll have it for you. Mitch White will be on the mound for the Blue Jays, Kyle Bradish for the Orioles. And then Wednesday, Alek Manoah and Dean Kramer. Up and away, ball 4. From what I can see, Tabby, since 1900, there have been 16 players who have hit 4 home runs in a game. And you mentioned Carlos Delgado as one of the most recent. If the website I'm looking at can be trusted, was J.D. Martinez in 2017. Sean Green has done it. Hard-hitting Mark Whitten
did that against Cincinnati.
Yeah. Mike Schmidt, Willie Mays, some great players. Lou Gehrig did it.
I think there's more perfect games than 4 homer games.
And more unassisted triple plays than 4
homer games. So it is rare. I was in this ballpark. Michael Saunders hit 3 home runs, and then his 4th time up, hit it right to the wall.
Yeah.
Oh, I was going to see a 4 home run game in this ballpark.
Well, I think one thing we know, Poe's going to give it his best effort.
You know what? Don't try and hit a home run.
Yeah.
Just keep doing what you've been doing all day today. Have a good approach.
Josh.
You do that, good things are going to happen.
Yeah. Josh Hamilton, a 4 home run game. Mike Cameron.
That 4 home run game, did that come here?
That came here. Yes, you are right.
Thought so.
Bradley with a bouncer that stays fair. They'll get the out at first, but that's it. Jansen takes second, 2 down. So now George Springer comes up. 0 for 3 with a walk. And I think you're right. If Jeff Nelson hasn't taken everybody off the field by this point, I don't think he's going to.
And if it's not going to rain any harder, if it's going to just stay like this, we're in there.
Fans trying to drown out the Blue Jay fans who had started a "Let's Go Blue Jays" chant. Outside, 2-0. Dylan Tate getting up in the bullpen. Brandon Hyde has limited options, so he really doesn't have much of a choice but to get one of his higher leverage guys up right now.
That would be nice. Get him into this game. Blue Jays up by 5.
And a broken bat, one hopper out to second. Odor on to first in time to retire the side. To the bottom of the 8th in Baltimore. When do we come back? 8-3 Blue Jays.
His 36th birthday at work. Phelps blows out the candles October 9th, and there is nothing more he wants to be doing than pitching in the postseason. Pete Walker told me Phelps wants it so bad. He wants this team to win. That as important as Phelps has been to the team on getting out this season, his influence with the younger bullpen arms has been so significant, providing information and a veteran presence and professionalism. And Phelps told me when any of the relievers are out there, he said, we're all pulling for each other. He said it fires us all up to see what Garcia and Bass and Simber and Romano and the rest are doing late in games. He said back there in the bullpen, we're yelling and fist bumping. He said it's just so cool to be part of an environment like that. That's why I want to keep this thing going into October. Dan?
You know, David Phelps made 3 relief appearances in the postseason. He has 3 career postseason appearances. They were all in his rookie season, 2012. He was a Yankee then. And I'm sure you think if you're a young guy and you're a rookie and you pitch in the playoffs, this is great. This is going to happen every year. It's been 10 years since he pitched in a playoff game.
And I don't blame him wanting to do it again, because that's a different animal and it's a lot of fun. So he'll get an inning here, help the Blue Jays try to get back to the postseason. He pitched in yesterday's ball game. Just gave up a scratch double to Tyler Heineman, his former battery mate, and that was it. So he goes back-to-back days.
Gunnar Henderson will lead it off against Phelps. The shortstop here in the second game of the doubleheader is 1 for 3. Henderson, Urias, and Odor, the 5, 6, and 7 hitters. Rain might have lightened up a little bit. It's still coming down, but maybe not quite as heavily as it was a half inning or an inning ago. At this point, I guess Jeff Nelson can see the finish line, bottom 8, and just trying to push this one through, given that it's September and these are 2 teams in a race.
Hey, Dan.
Yes, sir.
The rain is not lightening up at all down here. Okay, just wanted to let you know.
See, we can say that.
Yeah.
We're undercover. All we have to go by is what looks like it on the screen.
That made my night. You're undercover too. Quit your belly aching.
Nice.
Strike 3 call.
Young Gunnar Anderson was looking for something else, and David Phelps paints him up on the outside corner. Maybe he was looking for that cutter, maybe he was looking for that slow curveball. The veteran took care of the rookie for strike 3.
So 1 down, and here is Ramon Urias, who is 1 for 3. Do not go anywhere. Bo Bichette is due up second in the top of the 9th inning. And as you no doubt know, Bo has 3 home runs already in this game. The major league record is 4. It has been done 16 times since 1900. Most recently by J.D. Martinez in 2017.
This pitch. David's been on a nice roll. I love the pace that he has been in over his last couple of outings. Working quickly, throwing a lot of strikes, not overthrowing the baseball.
Tabby, we have confirmation. It's raining just as hard. I misspoke. Like you said, we got a roof.
Yeah, we're fine.
2-2. How about the Blue Jays getting 12 2/3 innings out of their 2 starters in this doubleheader? 6 2/3 from Gausman and 6+ from Barrios.
Yeah, Jose pitched into the 7th inning and was on cruise control, and then just ran out of gas there in the 7th inning. Then it's back over to the bullpen. But yeah, I love it. That's exactly why they shuffled their starting rotation when they went to Pittsburgh, to get the 2 veterans in here in this doubleheader.
Base hit Urias. Join Tim McAuliffe and all of his friends for some sports edutainment weekdays at 5 Eastern, 2 Pacific on Sportsnet and Sportsnet Now. A mixed reaction for Rougned Odor because almost all of the Oriole fans have left, but the Blue Jay fans, obviously smaller in number, but a higher percentage of them remain, so they are booing Odor.
They don't forget, do they?
No. A home run, a line out, and a walk for Odor today. Strike 1. This one is popped up. Bichette going back, Zimmer coming in, and Zimmer makes the catch, battling the raindrops. 2 down.
Yeah, that's no fun trying to deal with those raindrops. You're looking straight up, those things going right into your eyes. You need some windshield wipers over your eyes. Would he handle it into the game for defense? And takes care of Rougned Odor.
Phelps looking for one more out here to finish off the bottom of the 8th inning, and he'll face Kyle Stowers, the rookie outfielder, who's 2 for 3 in this game. And strike 1 call. Tampa Bay did indeed beat the Red Sox 4-3, so they are once again a game ahead of the Blue Jays pending the outcome of this one. Seattle is trailing the White Sox 3-1 in the 4th inning out in Seattle. Inside, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes. Phelps, like everybody else, just trying to find a way to keep that hand as dry as possible so he can throw a pitch.
He loves to go back on the rosin. Well, that rosin bag's soaked right now.
Yeah.
So what's the next best place? Right under your armpit, right there. That's where he went to dry off those fingers.
To left field, Tapia makes the catch. End of 8. Bo Bichette will take a shot at history when we come back.
A week makes. Look at Bo Bichette's August compared to September. You talk about a player who has been locked in. Bichette has said, I'm super aggressive. I'm finding my way. I'm really confident right now. I want to go out and do damage. Attack from the first pitch. All of that has been paying off. What a start on this road trip for Bichette, already eclipsing home run and RBI totals from last month in the opening week of this pivotal month of September, Dan.
And important hits too, Tabby. I mean, a big 2-run homer Friday night in Pittsburgh, a huge 3-run double Saturday in Pittsburgh, and then obviously some big hits again here today.
Yeah, in game number 1, 3 big hits, driving in some big runs for the Blue Jays. Of course, the game that he has had here in game number 2, but that's the guy that the Blue Jays know they have, an offensive shortstop who's capable of doing some things offensively that other players just can't do. And he has shown you why. I mean, last year was no fluke for him. 29 home runs, no fluke. He is in a nice groove right now, and John Schneider's got his back for sure. Puts him up into that 3 spot, and he's going to bat second in this inning. Chance to add to history.
Chance to tie a major league record if he can hit his 4th home run tonight. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. will lead it off. Vladdy is 0 for 4 here in the nightcap. Down the right field line, but foul. So Guerrero, Bichette, and Chapman, the hitters for the Blue Jays here, top of the 9th. They are up 8-3, looking for a sweep of the doubleheader as Bichette pops out on the on-deck circle. Two. And of course it's on Bo's mind. It would be on anybody's mind if they were in this position. Even if you say don't try to do it, but it's on your mind, right?
Yeah, it's there. Just stay unconscious. That's what he's hitting like. He's unconscious right now.
Fly ball to right for out number 1, and here he comes.
And Rash was just talking about the month of September. He's already surpassed what he did home run wise in August. He's hit 4 home runs. 3 of them have come on the first pitch. He has been super aggressive, and he hasn't been missing those hangers this month.
So 2 of the 3 home runs he's hit tonight have been off Zimmerman, who has been out there for a long time. And the first pitch, he takes it down low for ball 1.
Numbers are climbing, aren't they?
He's had a good couple of weeks. He's had a great couple of weeks. The 1-0, and he takes up and away ball 2. Let's hope Zimmerman can at least throw him a strike here in the rain, right?
No team in the American League has ever had multiple players with 4 home run games.
Carlos Delgado did it in 2003. 2-0 the count. Outside, 3-0.
I think the fans know what's at stake right here. We just heard some boos.
Lines the ball to center field. It'll be caught by Mullins. So very solid contact. Just didn't quite get it up in the air enough, but still one heck of a doubleheader for Bo Bichette.
Wow. I think it's safe to say that he's in one of those grooves where everything he swings at is a line drive. He gets that one up in the air, and that would have been history.
So 2 down. Here's Matt Chapman, who is 0 for 4. Chapman DH'd in the first game, playing third here in the nightcap. Boy, a win here in this one, Tabby, and all of a sudden they are 4.5 ahead of the Orioles.
Yeah, you want to make up some ground, play well against a team you're either chasing or you're trying to fend off, as Julian Merryweather is getting loose. Looks like he's going to pitch the 9th inning. That's when you want to do it, head to head.
A high fly ball to center. Mullins tracking it and makes the catch. So it is on to the bottom of the 9th. The Blue Jays are 3 outs away from a doubleheader sweep. Julian Merryweather coming in. Baseball partnership. And it may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership. So far, so good for the Blue Jays here in Baltimore. A 7-3 win in the first game of the doubleheader and an 8-3 lead going to the bottom of the 9th in the rain in the second game of the doubleheader as Julian Merryweather is back with the Blue Jays for the first time in almost 3 months.
Yeah, just activated before game number 2 here. The last time he pitched in the big leagues, you got to go all the way back to June the 13th. That was against the same Baltimore Orioles. 2/3 of an inning, couple of hits. He gave up a run and walked off the mound and walked off the field, went on the injured list, and here he is. And if they can get this arm coming out of the pen, throwing strikes with what he has in his arsenal, good fastball, one of the better arms down in that bullpen, you know, it'd be a nice little pickup. Merryweather, again, it's been a long time since he's been on a big league mound. He has been throwing in the minor leagues.
He made 11 rehab appearances in Buffalo, covering 12 innings, and struck out 16 batters. The velocity was kind of typical Merryweather, 97-98. Did not allow an earned run in those 12 innings in Buffalo. And it's always tantalizing, right? Just such a good arm, and if he can stay healthy and throw strikes and miss some bats, and he could really help.
It's a free and easy windup. That first pitch, 97, got on there quick.
And a high strike to make it 0-2. Robinson Chirinos leading it off. Seven again, but taken high for ball 1. So Merryweather taking Casey Lawrence's spot on the roster today in between games. And the Blue Jays, with, you know, the quote-unquote bullpen game Saturday in Pittsburgh and now a double here today, getting through it in pretty good shape.
Yes, you're absolutely right. If they can get through this one without Garcia or Romano, it's all Mesa.
No Bass either. Yeah, no Garcia, no Bass, no Romano so far.
And you're right. Give them another day to recoup in case you need them tomorrow.
Bounce down to third, backhanded by Chapman, and he'll bounce it across and picked nicely by Guerrero at the other end.
That was not an easy pick. It's been raining for about an hour and a half. Chappie has to back up and throw off his back foot, tries to bounce it over there. Does it go off the grass or does it go off that turf? It goes off the turf. And as a first baseman, you don't know where that thing's going to bounce. Just get down as low as possible. And he does, and he picks it clean.
Yeah, he purposely bounced it, but he probably bounced it closer to Vladdy than he wanted to, right? Good reactions over there from Guerrero. Here's Cedric Mullins. Again tomorrow night, Mitch White gets the start for the Blue Jays. Kyle Bradish for the Orioles. First pitch 7:05. Blue Jays Central 6:30.
Make sure you get those pitches good, eh? 4.5, maybe 4.5.
99, Tabby.
That's what I mean. There's not a lot of guys out in that bullpen for the Blue Jays who can do that. So if he can come in and throw like that, what an addition the last couple of weeks of this season.
Do a changeup there. Bouncer to Bichette, looks it over, makes the play. 2 down. As a former starter, he's always had all 4 pitches, and there was talk at some point earlier this season to try to make him maybe just a fastball slider guy, but threw a changeup there and shook twice to get to that.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. They were trying to like take his pitch arsenal and make it smaller so he can just concentrate on fastball command, because that's where he was getting beat earlier this season with the fastball. He has a really good changeup.
So the Blue Jays an out away. The batter is Adley Rutschman, 2 for 4. And a breaking ball misses just low for ball 1. Well, Bo Bichette, the big story here in the second game with the 3 homers, but Jose Barrios got deep enough into the game. 6+ innings. Richards, Phelps, Merriweather in relief. Jackie Bradley Jr. 3 for 4, 2 doubles, 2 RBIs. Here in the nightcap, Kevin Biggio homer.
John Schneider's pushing all the right buttons, isn't he? With the bullpen, starting Jackie. Jackie had a big night. Cavan playing both games. He's making some good decisions that are working out.
Things were a little bit different the last time the Blue Jays were here in Baltimore, but 2 impressive efforts here in the first 2 games of this series. To center field and deep. Zimmer back. At the wall. It's gone. Adley Rutschman to straightaway center field to make it 8-4.
He's up to 10 home runs now. He's had a nice afternoon also. That's going to be his 3rd hit of the day, or excuse me, of the game, his 5th hit of the day. That's a no-doubter to center field.
Anthony Santander. And that was the issue for Merriweather early in the season. Most of the damage he gave up came on the fastball.
Fastball command.
Changeup taken low, a ball and a strike. Let's go O's chance again. The several hundred who are still here seeing this right to the bitter end. Another changeup, 1-2.
Look, the big at bat for the Blue Jays on defense was this at bat. Santander, they had some runners on. That was back in the 7th inning. They had runners on. The meat of the order coming up, and Trevor Richards got him to pop up.
And speaking of popped up, here comes Chapman. And that is your ball game, and that is a sweep of the doubleheader for the Blue Jays, who now move 4.5 games ahead of the Orioles all of a sudden. A monster game, a monster day for Bo Bichette. And a very productive and rewarding day for the Blue Jays as they take the first 2 games of this series.
Boy, lots of contributions from everybody. It started with Kevin Gausman in game number 1. Blue Jays scored runs late in that ball game to go away, 3 runs in the 9th inning. took that one away. Bo Bichette in game number 2. He's the star of the game in that one. Jose Barrios gutting out 6 innings. The bullpen did it. And you mentioned it. They didn't do it with Romano, Bass, Garcia. We saw Meza just a little bit. So they should be in good shape for tomorrow.
And here are the updated standings. They pick up a half game on the Rays. Wait and see what the Mariners do. They are still playing, and they moved to 4.5 ahead of Baltimore, with 2 more games coming in the series, including the next one that we will have for you tomorrow night, beginning with Blue Jays Central at 6:30. And speaking of which, it is time for Blue Jays Central right now. Back to the studio in Toronto with Jamie Campbell and Joe Siddall.